Hello, hello, hello. Hey, you guys. It's your girl, Miss Mouthy, the Lips of Detroit. I'm so excited to be back, you guys. But I'm not going to lie. I'm so sorry that it's been some time. I know a lot of y'all have been asking, where am I at? What am I doing? And the reality is, like, it took me some time to be able to, like, get here today. I think as a creative and also as like an artist and activist, and just as a human being, you got to take that time to be able to make sure that you can bring your full self into anything that you're doing, right? And so oftentimes I talk about how we should be experiencing this joy, but sometimes in order to experience that joy, you have to take a step back and you have to like make sure you're resting and taking your dime time. And this episode that you have stumbled upon will be entitled Look at My Lotus. And so I'll tell y'all a little bit about, if this is your first time, welcome. You have stumbled upon the Miss Mouthy podcast, the podcast that centers the narratives and experiences of trans and non-binary folks and the allies that love and support us. But this edition of this podcast has been sponsored by the Black Trans Fund. And what we try to do here is center joy. And in that process, y'all have been seeing, I've been letting the episodes from BTech run out, you guys. So all the interviews that I had done, I didn't realize I had did that many interviews. And so week after week, if you have been watching my Instagram, it wasn't like I was not giving y'all content, y'all. Y'all just didn't got so spoiled that I do it on either IG, Facebook, or YouTube. So you may have missed it, but it was out there in it. If you follow the Miss Mouthy, I am Miss Mouthy Instagram page. And so I was letting those videos get out and y'all to get familiar with some amazing people that I interact with at the conference, or leaders that's doing amazing work in the community, and folks that's just been a staple to the BTech experience. And so that is, now that has ran its course, I am now back in the studio, and I wanted to be honest with y'all about where I'm at. Like, oftentimes this transparency of being able to come forth and be a creative is sometimes a challenge. In any creative, you kind of get that either writer's block, or you get that creative process that like be like, oh, what am I doing? um and the next scale, I want to just evolve. Like for season 5, I want to do something great, and I want to be very intentional. And the work has been, this platform has been integrated into a lot of my activist work and highlighting people throughout the nation. And I didn't never think that my podcast would become something that would go past local. And so I'm honored in that. And so many people want to connect and honor. And so I'm thinking through all the moving pieces of what that would look like so we can elevate, but also like m- the main thing, when I was at the Monica Roberts Freedom School, shout out to y'all, dear Nisha, Duncan Boy, you are amazing. I went to go experience that and went through it as a student leader, and it really changed and propelled my life in a way that I had to come back and believe in me and figure out, how do we get this platform to really elevate and like cultivate the work that our people are doing and archive that in a way that's so amazing. And I know there's people doing this work and all these things, and I just want to do it my way. I just wanted to do a way that makes sense for me and brings me joy, and that is what I'm doing. And a little story time about that is that this episode was entitled after the session that Miss Dee Dee Waters had did. So shout outs to Miss Dee Dee Waters. If you're listening, I think you are absolutely a gem. I think you are absolutely amazing. Thank you for what you pull into me, not only in your session, but one-on-one as someone who love and see me. And I appreciate that. I'll take it back to, we were there, we were in Louisiana having a good time, and I had a moment, y'all. I had a moment that took me out of my character. And when it took me out of my character, what I loved about Dee Dee Waters, she allowed me the space to be able to regulate myself and bring myself down. and just simply ask me, was I okay? And I don't know if people do it enough. They ask, how are you? But they don't ask, are you okay? You can respond respectfully and say, yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. Okay. But when you ask with the intentionality of, are you okay? That then provokes a conversation of, how is your well being? Are you triggered? Are you sad? What are you pissed off? Okay. And so for that, I really thank you. And part of her session in her storytelling was she was giving us all our flowers, right? And your mind might necessarily go straight to, when you get your flowers, you are getting roses. But we didn't get roses. We had a different variety of flowers. And what I really genuinely loved about that is that everybody is not going to be a rose. And that is okay. You can strive for the best, but you are who you are. And what I got from that is, whatever flower that you are, it is beautiful and it holds just as much value and weight as any other rose or flower. That is yours. And the beauty is, it for me, why I chose a lotus is because it got to go through the mud. I think as we are in a state where crazy things are happening all around us on an everyday basis, or people mental health is in jeopardy, or financial times have made people do things that they probably wouldn't normally do. I had to realize that in the mud, through the things that I feel like is darkness, the moments that I'm not always satisfied or bringing in my best self, or just the shit I had to live through, the things that I had to survive past, have bloomed this beautiful person that I am today. And so I sit here before you all and I speak with all of y'all with being so grateful of who I am in the imperfection of all the things that I had to go through. All the things that molded me to be exactly who I am is all the things that people get to benefit, and how I can be able to do this platform, and how I can show up in community, and how I can allow people to love on me, and how I can love on people. Okay, being a Lotus have been able to allow me to just be myself and say, hey, it's not perfect all the time. Life is going to give you some smut. Okay, life is going to give you some smut, and it's all about what you do with it. And so for me, I just don't want to do, and this is something that Dr. Tatiana Moulton had taught me as well, that you cannot take things personal in this movement. Shit, sometimes I feel like you can't even take it personal in this life. I think about the things that I had to go through in order to get to the point where I'm at, to just show up for today. And I can't take it personal. Those things, to be emotionally regulated or emotionally aware, that is great. And the fact that she's doing work that I feel like is so important. If y'all don't know, she is doing a coaching class. I'm noticing now that when I come into the season, I want to give y'all the juice. I want to give y'all the tools. I may not always be able to physically take y'all everywhere with me and show y'all in real time the amazing experiences or cohorts that I be a part of, but I can give you the people that's doing what, and you can go flood their DM, and you can go hit that link, and you can go sign up for those classes. So if you're someone who want to learn about grant writing, or you want to learn how to become a better leader as far as regulating your emotional behaviors and all of the things with doing this work, Dr. Tatiana Moulton is doing that work. You can go support her in that effort. You can go support her, support you in that work. But yeah, it was a gem to be able to meet her and sit and talk to her and get them gems while I was at the cohort. So make sure, if y'all don't, sign up for her class, because y'all always asking about these grants. Y'all want to know about funding. There you go. You got somebody who's willing to teach you. That's an expert. You got somebody who's willing to pour into you. And class 5 is open. So if you seen that I was a part of the Monica Robert Freedom School cohort and you love what you saw, you're more than welcome to join. Class 5 is now up. Hit Dear Nisha up. And yeah, I'm just so thankful for all the people who like poured into me through that experience. And it was great to see what came about it. Hi to everybody that's joining on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Hi, cousin. It's so great to see you. I love you, and your new music has been amazing. Um, and another shout out is just I wanted to take the time to really thank the Trans Justice Funding Project for the grant that they gave the Miss Mouthy podcast. I am so honored to be able to be one of the recipients because the work that I do with media and how I be able to allow people to show up in their fullness of our communities is something that's just so important. Like a lot of times people like, "Oh, why don't you just talk about yourself and your work?" That will come. The people will know. They'll know what I'm doing. They'll know how I show up. But I want to give all these great people that I know and affiliated with and share space with an opportunity to introduce their self and their legacy and the work that they do and their joy. So through that grant, I will be able to continue to do the work here that I have been doing with Miss Mouthy. And what that looks like, y'all was able to experience things like the Lady Legacy panel. We will be able to have a holiday dinner. We will be now it's going to look a little different. I know y'all looking for the 7 days of luck, but with opportunities like that and funders who be able to provide things, I wanted this to be able to evolve. And now I want to do a fund that's going to not only honor my friend Asia Davis. So we're gonna now have so the 7 days of luck is gonna evolve into the Asia Davis funding fund. And so what that's just gonna look like if you a person from Detroit or you a trans person, our community, not our community, send the DM, send the videos, send the requests. I'm going to put together a job form link that y'all can be able to fill out the requests and we'll go from there. The rapid response will be active and it's because of funding projects like them that be able to help me in this because what other podcast giving out money? Okay, so with that being said, you just know that y'all have to support them in their efforts to be able to still fund money to our community members, these people who really out here doing all this amazing work. Shout outs to y'all. So again, thank you. Moving right along, we have y'all. If y'all don't know, if you from Detroit or you're not from Detroit, we have Hotter Than July coming up. That is our Black Gay Pride. But specifically, we have an amazing organization that has been rallying around putting great events together and reclaiming that space in that event. And so, you know what I got for y'all right here? hmm Right here. Can you see? Okay, let's fucking right here. Here's the ticket to the Colors of Pride Ball, July 27th. Okay. And all you have to do, shout outs to the Detroit Black Pride Society for hosting this and putting together all the events that's going to happen that week. All you have to do is come to Corktown Health and get tested, and you get a free ticket to the ball. And so, y'all know what it means. I feel like if I know them, like I know, if I know the Pride Society, like I know the Pride Society, it's going to be one of those events that you want to be at. And I know they're going to have the coin. So if you a girl that's in ballroom and you want to be able to make your mark with your coins and make your money, come check them out because I know it's going to be something. If my grandma ass can stay up, I'll be there. But these balls go a little late, y'all. But if you have the time or the capacity to be able to do a great thing, support them. And that's not all that they're doing. My girl London is actually throwing a Freaknik 2024 event at Parma Park. And so you want to be there because it's going to be going down. And I'm going to be in the building doing interviews and helping my girl out in any way possible. So I just want y'all to know that it's gonna be an ass shaking contest. We got a plethora of things for y'all to do. I wish I could have the list on me, for y'all to have it, but come. They're going to be cash prizes, raffles, games, water fights. Like when do we just get to play in the water? We be hot as hell at Pride all the time and don't have no water fight. So bring your water guns, bring your water balloons, and most of all, it's Freaknik, y'all. So think 90s inspired. Bring all your 90s looks. Come, okay, and let's just have a good time in community and have fun and celebrate Black Pride with the Black um Detroit Pride Society. So, I'm excited to be there. I think this is going to be an amazing event. And most recently, y'all, I just came back from um, this healing retreat. I've been in this process of healing for I don't know how long now. Like, I think healing is one of those things that's like not even a process because I don't think I want to end goal. I just want to heal from everything, right? Like if I stump my toe, I want to heal from it. If my hair don't come out right, I want to heal from it. If I just want to be in the better part of myself at all times. And so I was able to tap into that while in Orlando with Black Trans Blessing, and shout outs to them for all their work that they've been doing spiritually and the healing aspect of allowing Black trans folks to be able to show up and create a space where we can get back in tune with our African ancestors and religion and spirituality and practices. And it was just nothing like it. It was just nothing like it. It was the intentionality for us to bring our broken selves in there and figure out what feels good for us to be able to heal and love on ourselves and be in community. And I just adore them. Like I just adore them. So shout out to y'all. Um I will have them come onto the platform to speak more about their work and what they do. And also y'all see a small snippet of that on the Instagram page. So make sure y'all follow the I am Miss Mouthy Instagram page to be able to keep up with the things of where I'll be, who's coming on, who have been on, what events you should check out, and where you should be putting your funding dollars. Like we are out here giving money to a lot of different causes, but we really want to support the people that's on the ground that's pushing this movement forward. And those are people who I just want y'all to recognize. And we're definitely going to have um our own BU spokesperson come into the building and talk about their event that's happening, which I'm so excited for because it's been bringing trans masculine folks into space and in community and in leadership to be able to like be in community. I know the girls have been eating it up. I've been seeing the girls on Instagram just eating it up, and I love that. I love that for each and every girl. But I also be mindful of the conversations that get thrown to the wayside or how we leave community members out when we're not also allowing them to be able to share the same space or get the same opportunity. So lately I've been loving all the conversations that's been happening around sexual assault, not only to the girls but to the boys. And what does that mean to be able to hold perpetrators accountable? I don't want to say in a loving way, but also not perpetuating that same harm that they induced. So I've been watching a lot of community members navigate that and support one another and support guys because we're under this idea that that same harm can't happen to a masculine person. And it's like that is the most harmful way of thinking when you just don't allow people not only the space to tell their truth, but when there is no repercussions or there is no accountability. That's what I'm saying. Fuck the repercussions, but the accountability to be able to say, hey, you harmed me. And that's in any way. I think that was one of the things I learned about community work here is that harm can be done. And it's not that we can't be in community ever again or those things are making you a bad person. What it is accountability. What are you going to do to rectify what you've done to cause harm? How can you make this right? How do you hold yourself accountable to stop those actions? And so for me, I'm now at a place where not only was I loving the conversation, but I was experiencing things of the same nature. And it was good to have somebody in solidarity that I could trust in that and talk about what that meant for myself and what that meant for him and how do you want me to support you. And if that means standing up and talking for and holding somebody accountable, I got you. I got your bees. I got your bees because we all in this together. So, I like to believe if one of us hurt, we all hurt. If y'all see what happened, if I'm hurt, I'm not showing up to the podcast. I don't give a damn. Y'all can have it. So we have to not only take care of ourselves, but each other in this. And so I'll get into it with an icebreaker while we wait on our guests to come. Because one thing that's have been helping me, y'all, is this end game. If you don't have it, it's a array of cards that will challenge not only yourself but your relationships to the people around you, whether it's your coworkers, your friends, whether it's your partner or yourself. And this so happened to be self. And what I've loved about this is that it asks me questions. Not only am I afraid of asking, answering, but ones that I probably wouldn't ever thought of to ask myself. And again, shout out to everybody that is tapping in. I love y'all lips. Y'all have been the reason why I come back, because every time I feel like, well, maybe they're good without me. I'll be like, Miss Mouthy, what's going on? What are you doing? And I'm just like, I love this. I love the purpose of what I have here, and I'm glad that I've been able to build out something that's sustainable and hold me accountable. Hold me accountable that um I am valuable in this community. I am valuable in this media world, and like there are people who appreciate what it is that I'm putting out here. So thank you. You are so adorned. So I'll pull like three cards and we can get into it. Um how how will this change me for the better? And one of the things with the self perspective is about one thing that's been holding you. And I think I'll be more vulnerable in it, the fear of, I guess, being unsuccessful. So, the challenge is how this will change me for the better is that you have to, I know people say consistency, but authenticity happens to go hand in hand with that. I don't want to do anything that's unauthentic to myself. I don't want to be one of those people who just giving y'all content and saying regurgitated shit or trying to use words and be so intellectual that that's not me. I'm just me. I want to be a kind girl that give y'all the information, sometimes the tea, but I don't want to be messy. I want to love y'all and I want y'all to love on each other too. I want y'all to remember that every time you listen into the Miss Mouthy podcast, hopefully you get something from it. Hopefully you spread the word to somebody else who needs something. Like, hopefully you get some uplifting stuff. And if you have a young person in your life, these pearls of wisdoms that we leave at the end of the episode will be so beneficial. And you may have missed the episode or two, but there will be resources in here that you can find. If you're a queer person, there will be community events and organizations and leaders that you can lean into. So let this be a living testament of community resource guides for you to be able to pull from at a later date, or give to someone that you know may be in need, may need to hear a kind word, or may need to tell their truth. Miss Mouthy podcast is for you. And so that is how it's going to be better. That every time I get on here, I do what really comes from my heart creatively and authentic. Um, because I see so much in social media when I'm scrolling on Instagram. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot to be said. It's a whole lot to be said. People got a lot of feelings. They got a lot of voices, and a lot of people are following them, and a lot of people is listening. And one of the things that my twin told me was like, "Hey, Miss Mouthy, we know as a community, if you say something, you mean it." And that meant the world to me. That absolutely meant the world to me, that I hold the power that what I say, people know I'm coming from a very genuine place. I don't really want to read nobody. I don't really want to shit on nobody else parade because I know what it took to get here. It's not easy to get on the internet and talk your shit. It's not easy to show up and let people judge you authentically. Okay, it's not easy if you stumble upon a word. People hold on to that shit. They find the littlest thing to make a meme in. We in meme culture, y'all, and council culture and all the other things. And I'm gonna force you to talk about something. Power. You hold the responsibility. I'm human. If I need to take a break, let me take a break. Cause I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna give you something that you're gonna love. I promise. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, how will doing this change me? I think coming back and taking that time away had changed me for the better. When you dealing with stuff, I didn't want to come on here week after week complaining about what I've been through or what somebody done to me. The reality is, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna have a lot of experiences that I may not like. So this is for anybody that might be out there. You might have some experiences where people do you wrong. There may be some experience where you don't like your current reality. There may be something that you do to somebody that you may not even want to rectify. That's okay. Give yourselves the space to know that, like, every time something happened doesn't mean that you have to go talk about it. Don't mean that you got to throw a pity party. You just got to get through it. So with my Lotus, I had to survive past the things that felt nasty to me, the things that I didn't want to just share. I didn't want to present that part of myself to y'all. So I had to go heal. I had to go get it right. I had to go figure it the fuck out, And it could have been trivial to me. It was little things that turned into big things. But now I'm ready. So your allow yourself to have that time to go through the muck, to go through the toughness, the mud of all of it, so you can bloom beautifully. So you can be a lotus that you're happy to present. So each one of your petals flourish, that they come out full and vibrant and all the things. And it's to nobody else plan. We in such a culture where everything is rush right now. You don't have to be rushed. You can do it at your own pace, at your own time, just the way you want to do it. And guess what? Everybody gonna receive it the same way. So let nobody else make you rush your process. That's how it'll make you better. What do I yearn for that I haven't fully acknowledged yet? That is a great question. Whew. Um, a lot of things, but I'll keep it down. I'll keep it down to three, right? So first, I yearn for a world that fully sees trans folks as people, not people to be threatened by, not for people to be second citizen to, not for people who to be your entertainment. And when I say entertainment, butter your jokes, um, to be the catalyst for your anger or the stigma that comes with you loving them or being attracted to them. I also feel like, yeah, they can't be your scapegoat. We can't be the reason why this country is so horrible because we get human rights. That is not our responsibility. You want us to be oppressed, but yet find a solution on how we can no longer be oppressed, how we can find the solution for a system that continues to show us that we're not human. So for me, that is something I yearn for. Um, I also yearn for a just joyful, peaceful, loving, enriched life. Okay. Like I want to do all the things. I want to travel. I want to get old. I want to be deeply in love. And I know y'all been showing love on my Instagram. Y'all been keeping up with a bitch. Um, but I'm in my era. I'm just in my era where peace and joy, I can't keep telling y'all go find it, but not go get it for myself. And so that is something that I want to be fully immersed in, a happy life. And that is not the worries of the world. That is not the worries of society. That is not the worries of an expectation that's been placed on me by other people. That is not my joy. That is not something that I have to take. So anybody listening, if somebody puts something on you that don't belong to you, please put it down or give it the fuck back to them. That is not for you to carry. You are to be designed to be exactly who you want to be. And if there's anything about your current reality that feel ucky, going back to that Lotus, you're going to have to get out of it. You're going to have to figure out how you can make the best in your current situation so you can get to that point to where you can bloom. And lastly, I feel like I yearn for humanity to be more kinder to each other. Like, not in the ways that, like, you just saying a hello, goodbye, and it's just like the sentiment of it. I mean, I want humanity to feel like what we see in the movies. times tens on steroids. Like I want people to not have to worry about if they walk out their front door, they may not come back home. I want youth to know that they can live a long, fulfilled life. I want elders to be respected. I want women to find value in their worth. I want men to show up more and love on themselves and their other brothers. Um, yeah. And I want us all to do it from a place of integrity and kindness and empathy because we all go through shit. So for me, that's what I be yearning for that I just hold, it just be really sad. So remember that we are getting to a point where y'all hoes gonna need to vote. Y'all gonna need to vote really soon. And I hope that everybody recognize that now is the time. We don't have time to jeopardize our success or anything in that regard. We gotta do it now. But that's the last of those cards. Thank y'all for letting me do this icebreaker. Um, I'm going to check in on my guests and make sure that they are ready to come on. Okay. But I really want to see a lotus in like real life, y'all. I'm not going to lie to you. Just the concept. I love flowers. My favorite flower is a white rose, but a lotus just hit different. I don't know if it hit different more as a black person or a trans person, but it was something about that reference of it just being able to survive through anything. Through anything. It was like, oh, when I kind of look back at my life and you go through this point where you're going through therapy and you talking to your therapist and your therapist asking you all the questions like, okay, so what happened in your childhood? And how does that make you feel? And then did you know that? It's just like, girl, no, I didn't. And look at me. I'm still here pushing through and thriving. So anybody today, I would say if you got out to bed and you were able to push forward through the day and you felt a little bit of resistance, if it felt hard at any point, I want you to give yourself a pat on the back. I want you to give yourself a hand clap because you did it anyway. We're all going through something and we're all trying to figure it out. And in those motions, people don't have a lot of grace for us having a bad day or having a bad week or shit. Some of us just got a bad hand, but you push through anyway and you still here. And it's gonna be hard. But I definitely know in the thick of it, something beautiful can come out of it. I'm literally a walking, breathing example of that. So whatever you might have to do to make it happen, whether it's to clear your mind, clear yourself and rid yourself of people that means you no good or keep you stuck in the mud or the uckiness of it, you got to clear it. You got to clear yourself of all of those misdoubts, the mistrust. You have to be able to show up, not only for others, because we always this, I got to show up, I got to be amazing. But you have to show up for you. You got to be the one that can get you out of the mud because you got to be your own hero. Unfortunately, it's been a lesson that I've been telling myself. Nobody else is here to save you. And that's not to say that you're not going to get a comrade here or there. That's just to say that you got you. And you'll be proud of every moment that you get through when you knew it was hard. And everybody else around you said you made it look easy. So even when people may not know exactly what you may be dealing with or how you had to get through or show up, you did it gracefully. So give yourself that tenderness, give yourself that round of applause because what's to come when you do blossom is going to be beautiful. And that's just all around. So that is why I needed this episode that because I'm so honored how people think of me. It moves me that y'all put me on a pedestal of being a great person, being kind, being sweet. And then sometimes I'm the villain to some people's story, and that's okay too. But in love will always be my intention. In kindness will always be, and I will always try and help you center your joy. And it's a process. You got to want to be happy at the end of it. And if you don't want to be happy today, maybe tomorrow. What does that look like? Do you ask yourself the challenging questions of, is joy monetary? Is it materialistic? Is it romantic? Does it feel seasonal? Like, what is it? Because now I'm experiencing joy in all the moments that I get to dictate my life. When I get to call the shots and my job is not the reason why I'm panicking, or if taking care of others that's ungrateful for what I produce for them is something that not bringing me joy, I don't censor it no more. And I don't fault anybody else. I don't fault anybody else. That's the ways in which I know my lotus has bloomed. I don't fault anybody else for me not being able to get people to see my value or get people to appreciate me. I simply understand who I am and what I add to rooms, spaces, and places, and I go forward. Eventually, they may catch up, or hell, maybe I'm just not enough, and that's okay too for them. But I'm great for me, and I want y'all to lead in that. I want y'all to always center how much you bring to yourself, because when it's all said and done, that is who you're living for. We're not living for these apps. We're not living for our social circle, or hell, even our partner. Hell, our kids grow up and get a certain age and they don't want nothing to do with us. So just remind to be kind to yourself and love on yourself when it's possible, but allow yourself room to know that it's a dark day, that guck is still there, but you can clear it out. You got this. So I want y'all to believe in that. And with BU, they are having their brother to brother summit coming up soon. They're going to have their day party. So please go check them out. I believe it is on the 19th. So make sure y'all go and support. I'll be posting all the flyers to the event that I talked about on my Instagram page. It is I am Miss Mouthy. And if you are someone, a trans person, non-binary person, or someone from Detroit that may be interested in thinking about a podcast, please reach out to me. I am in the process of really wanting to help people cultivate that and bring it to fruition. I want to help y'all be able to come up with a creative construct and see a vision for yourself, because I don't want to be the only one. Y'all can do this too. A lot of y'all, I love you too. Hi, Royal. A lot of y'all love what I do and say y'all want to do it. And so let me help you in that. So if you want to, you can always email me at missmouthy7@gmail.com. You can always hit me in the DMs on Instagram or Facebook. But I do want to be able to help people. So we can start off. We can see what your first episode look like. I can give you some pointers. We can do a runner show, whatever you need. I want to offer up a support because together we win. Nobody ever wins alone. There's always a team behind them. And I want to be able to help my people. I just love that y'all honor and respect what I do and how I do it. But I also want to get into how you do what you do. And together we'll build out something amazing, because we are in a time. We are in a time where we are doing it not only for ourselves, but people are seeing it, baby. You was gifted by God, and He has His hands written on everything that you do. And maybe that's even me speaking to myself, but for anybody who may be listening to that, that is something that you're going to thrive in when you let go and you relinquish any fear that you might have about moving forward and how you show up and do what you do. I'm not going to keep y'all too long. I thank y'all for tuning in. It's your girl, Miss Mouthy. We back like we never left. So even when you don't see me, you hear me. Till next time. Bye.